Hello, welcome to Wrinkle Wrinkle Little Star. My name is Sam. I'm a 41-year-old mum of two boys, and I'm just doing my little bit to help make the internet a more age-inclusive place, so there's more older people represented on the internet. Today I thought I'd do a quick favourites video. It's not going to be a full-on monthly favourites video. I've just picked 5 things that I'm loving at the moment, and I was thinking I might do kind of like a regular 5 things kind of video, so maybe like 5 of my favourite foods right now, 5 of the toys that the boys love playing with, 5 baby essentials for when you've got a newborn, when you've got a toddler, 5 spices that you need to have in your spice cupboard, 5 of my favourite books. I don't know, but I was thinking that might be quite a nice way of you getting to know me, and also obviously I'd love you to interact. So if you want to leave some comments below as to what your 5 favourite things are for this one and whatever we do in the future, that would be absolutely brilliant as well. So without further ado, let's see what I'm loving at the moment. First up is this chocolate. This is the Cadbury Caramel Bar, and it is delicious. It's a bit like a Caramac, but it's not quite as sweet, and it's also a thicker, kind of more substantial bar of chocolate. I mean, I don't think it's probably very good for you. I'm not even going to read the nutritional information on the back because that's just going to scare me. And kind of when you do eat it, you can kind of feel the sugar all on your teeth, which isn't, sorry, Mr. Dentist. But oh, as like a nice indulgent snack, I highly recommend. If you've got a sweet tooth, you're going to love this. And I would couple that with, personally, Seamless Link, a good book to read. And this, I finished this probably last month, but I wanted to include it because it's amazing. If you haven't read it yet, then get a copy. The Midnight Library. I say I read it last month. It may have been longer ago than that, actually. I'm not too sure. Anyway, if you haven't read it, then do read it. Matt Haig, he has just got such a good way of writing. It's not overly flamboyant, and it's quite simple in effect, which sounds like I'm being critical, but actually it's the opposite, because I think to write in that simplistic way but to make a story so engaging and so thought-provoking is a real skill. I think that's harder than using lots of fancy words and stuff, but this is a real book that makes you think. My husband's reading it at the moment, hence the little bookmark sticking out the top, and my husband's not a massive reader, so for him to be enjoying this and to already be that far through it says something. So yeah, The Midnight Library. I don't want to give too much away, really, but yeah, just to read the blurb. Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then at the stroke of midnight on her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to a library. There she is given the chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived, which raises the ultimate question: with infinite choices, what is the best way to live? I don't know personally if I'm having like a midlife crisis or if it's just the whole COVID thing or other things, which I'll do in like an update video separately because that's a whole other topic. But I'm thinking a lot about kind of like the way I live and the choices that I make and how kind of the next route I want my life to take. So a book like this, it kind of came at a very poignant time for me. And anyone that's in a very similar situation, I would definitely recommend this book. And it's been on the Sunday Times bestseller list for ages, which says something. So yeah, get your nice chocolate and your good book. Good combination. Something else that I'm loving that I don't have anything physical to show you, but I'll try and put a screenshot in, is the Sunday Stylist. She's a YouTuber. She's an Aussie. I've always kind of dipped in and out of YouTube. I kind of started watching YouTube videos probably in the early noughties when I wanted to figure out how to curl my hair with GHDs and I had no clue how to do it. And so I've kind of gone through a lot of beauty and kind of the original YouTube posse, like Louise Pentland and people like that. And now I kind of dip in and out for topics that I'm interested in. I found the Sunday Stylist by accident. I'm not going to say how because it involves being quite negative about another YouTuber, which I don't want to do. But if you know, you know. And I was glad that I did. She's a little bit of an older lady like me, which is refreshing in itself. She's quite no nonsense. She's got a very sort of Aussie style, and that she kind of gives advice, and I wouldn't say it's not sugar coated. She's very nice about it, but it's kind of like, you know, if you want things to work out in this way, then this is what you need to do. I was kind of stuck in a bit of a rut in terms of housework stuff. I'd kind of gone from being quite, I don't want to use the term OCD because obviously that is a medical condition, but quite controlling and seeing the housework as a way to kind of, if I had a clean house, I kind of felt worthy, which isn't a particularly healthy way of looking at it because you're worthy regardless of whether your house is clean or not. And then I kind of went for some therapy, and this is a separate video. And because then I realised that I was putting so much worth and value into having a clean house, I kind of rebelled and went the opposite way and kind of went, nah, it's not about my worth, I'm just going to ignore it. So it kind of went a bit off the rails, and obviously kids were home and all that sort of stuff as well. And she kind of helped me get back on track. She's got lots of planners that you can download, which is really good. So we're using her meal planner template at the moment. I can create my own, I can do InDesign and all that sort of stuff, but at the minute I don't have time, so it's great to have one that I can just print off that's ready made, and I'm just really enjoying her. Yeah, give her a look. Something else that I'm loving, and this isn't an actual one, this is an empty cup, but this is the size of them. Caramel cortados. So I love coffee. I'm an absolute coffee fiend. I mean, I think most people that have children are probably slightly addicted to caffeine, let's face it. I love a latte, and I love a latte with a syrup, but quite often, one, I find the amount of milk in a latte is quite bloating, and two, if you've got little people with you, by the time you've waited for your latte to cool down a little bit and then drunk it, they're starting to get a bit restless at the table while you drink it. Caramel cortados are the way forward. It's a short drink. It's a stronger drink. You can drink it more quickly because it's smaller. It gives you a big caffeine hit. I quite like strong coffee, and obviously when you have a latte, sometimes that much milk, it's quite watered down. So if you like strong, sweet coffee with a kick that you can drink quickly, give it a try. Like, I do wish they were bigger because they taste so nice, but I understand why they're not, because I think you'd get like a major caffeine craziness if they were bigger than that. But yeah, caramel cortados from Costa, give them a try. Do any other coffee shops do them? I don't know. If they do, then let me know, because I'd be keen to try different ones as well. They're very yummy. Loving the little Olympics cups as well. How cool are those? My teeth in. Next thing that I'm loving is the Emma Hardy skincare range. I dip in and out of this. This was kind of like talking about original YouTubers. I think this was like back in the day. I think everyone used this. I think Caroline Hirons, I never know how to say her name, and kind of went round and recommended it to all the original YouTubers, and they were all using it. And I've dipped in and out of it. It is quite expensive. All of these things, I'll leave links below in case you want to look them up. It is quite expensive, but I'm getting to the age where it's important to invest in a decent skincare. And I'm a bugger that if I don't like using something, I'll just keep going to bed with my makeup on. So it's better for me in a way to pay more money and then actually use a product than just be like, oh, I don't really like using that, I'm not going to bother. So you can get these from Marks and Spencer's, which is where I get them from. At the minute I'm using the Moringa Cleansing Balm, and then following it up with the Midas Touch Revitalising Cream, which is a moisturiser. They've got a whole range, and I'd love to try other parts of it as well, but this is all I'm going for at the moment. This cleansing balm is lovely. It smells really fresh, quite floral. It's got a slight texture to it, but not too much. Personally, I don't like anything that's too exfoliating where you can't get it off your face, but this is just enough to kind of get in the pores and give them a good clean without kind of like being really tricky to get off. You get a nice little, I'm going to say flannel, but I don't think that's the right term, like cleansing cloth that comes with it as well, which is double-sided. So you've got like a softer side and then kind of like a muslin kind of side to it as well. So you can take your makeup off with it. My son, because his initials are EH, always wants to steal the cleansing cloths to use them as his flannels to wash his face because he says they're his. And then this moisturiser, it's really rich, but it absorbs nice and easily. I've got a tendency, as I'm getting older, my skin is getting drier, but my skin naturally is quite oily. So if I use something that's too heavy and too rich, it just sits on top of my skin and makes it oily. This is nice and rich and moisturising, but it sinks in very easily, especially when you use it after this as well. So if you're looking for something that's a bit of a treat, but some nice skincare, then yeah, I recommend that. The final favourite that I'm loving this, I'm going to say this month because I'm so used to doing monthly favourites from back in the day when I used to do these videos. So my final favourite today is The Mindset Mentor, which is a podcast that you can get on Spotify and presumably other places that you get podcasts from also. It is very motivating. It talks a lot. The guy who does it, and I can't remember his name, and it's really annoying me, and it's not very professional. I can't remember his name, but I know it'll come back to me as soon as I stop recording. Again, I will link below. He mostly talks from an entrepreneurial point of view and a business point of view, but at the same time, everything that he speaks about can be applied elsewhere in life too. So it's all about changing the way that you think about things in order to get the most out of life, basically, whether that be business, whether that be your family. And he just talks a lot of sense. It's quite American, but then I think Americans tend to look at that kind of stuff perhaps better than we do. I think in the UK we often tend to have a bit of a I'm okay as I am, thank you kind of standpoint, whereas I think in America they very much look more towards self-development, and therapy and all that kind of stuff is much more open and available there and kind of expected almost. It's a really, really good listen. I listened to one this morning that was about brainwashing, which sounds really extreme, but he was just saying how basically we're brainwashed by absolutely everything we see, even if we don't realise it, and so how to control your environment to make sure you're brainwashed in a positive way that influences you in a good way. And it's just really, really interesting. They're quite short, they're quite sharp, they're quite snappy. He's very buoyant, he's got lots of energy. If you're looking for something to listen to while you're working from home, which is what I do, to kind of keep that motivation and positivity going, really, really recommend it. It's really, really good. That's all my favourites. Just realised I can't count because I said I was going to do 5 favourites and that was 6. Maths was never my strong point, I'll be honest. I hope you enjoyed that video and it kind of gave you a little insights into me and what I like. I would really love to know what you're loving at the moment. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I would love it if you subscribed and gave this video a thumbs up. If you want to connect, I'm also on Instagram and Facebook as well. The blog will be coming back to life very soon too. Thanks a lot. Bye.